Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want us to have a heart-to-heart talk. I feel that the time has come when we need to sit down and really talk about your relocation to Canada. And the reason why I want us to have this talk is because really a lot has happened in the Canada immigration space, like a lot. Since December of 2023, it has been back to back, one policy release after another, and a lot of you are getting discouraged about moving to Canada. A lot of things are spreading, people are saying a lot, and there's just a lot of discouragement in the land. And I see from your questions, I see from your comments, I see from those who reach out to me with your questions, I see the desperation, the confusion. I see the not knowing the way to go and like sort of asking, what are we going to do? I know you really want to come to Canada. So today, I want us to have a heart-to-heart talk about the express entry. No, come back. Don't go anywhere. You are not going anywhere. Today, you are going to listen to me talk to you about how you should not be ignoring the express entry and how that could be your ticket to moving to Canada this year with your family. I know previously we used to talk a lot about the study route. It was like the best route, especially for those who were older in age. The study route is still great, especially for those who are older in age. But there's a lot of opportunities coming up in the express entry. I don't know if you haven't noticed that Canada recently has been releasing like a lot of pilot programs. A lot of those programs are PR programs for yourself and your family. So even though you might still be looking at the study route, I want you to keep your ears to the ground. Pay close attention to the information that I want to give you here. It's a heart to heart, which means that after we're done today, you should be taking one action. You must leave this video with one action, at least one action that you're going to take. Do we have a deal? Fine. Now, the other day I met a lady. I like to meet new immigrants to Canada and talk to them about how they came to Canada, their experiences, and all of that. And I met this lady, and I asked her, "Oh, you're new to Canada?" Yes. And I asked her, "Oh, are you a student? How did you come?" And she was like, "No, I came as a permanent resident." Now I was shocked because looking at her and her kids, it was obvious that this woman is probably in her 40s or something. I was like, "That's interesting. Will you be able to tell me the story?" And she did tell me the story. A very exciting, almost miraculous story. Now, she, like every other person, was struggling to come to Canada through the study route. And she was going through the hurdles of getting admission and all of that. And while she was doing that, a friend of hers who lived in Canada told her to create an express entry profile. She was like, I beg, that express entry will too much. You know the things we say, do I have to write IELTS? Do I have to do West? Do I have to do. Yes, you have to do all of that. Well, thank God for that friend. The friend kept at her, and somehow she managed to do the IELTS and also to do West, and she got into the pool. Of course, her score was low. Was nothing to write home about. And she was like, well, why did she even bother? But guess what? She got into that pool, forgot about it, and was still going about her life and preparing to come study in Canada. And one day she got an email. And when she saw that email, it was a nomination from the province of Ontario. And guess what? She ignored it because she thought it was a scam. She was like, with my 300 and something points, who is going to be inviting me? She did not give it any attention. But thankfully, when that draw happened, her friend reached out to her asking her, "Oh, did you get a nomination?" She was like, "Which one is nomination?" She said, "Check your email. You maybe got an email," because the friend had seen the draws that were done. And she was like, "Yeah, so all these scam people sent me one email." She was like, "It's not scam." That is how she quickly got that email and started working on her relocation and eventually was able to come to Canada. But she did not want to create an express entry profile. And I'm awfully surprised by the lot of people that I talk to, and they don't want to create a profile. They just don't want to do the IELTS. Today, we're going to talk about the opportunities that enter express entry, especially now, and why you should take advantage of it. Now, this video is actually not for everybody. If you're still in that WhatsApp group of, I don't want to do any work, I'm looking for somebody that will do it for you. Well, there's so many people out there that can offer to do it for you. And trust me, the number of scam agents is increasing by the day because they've seen desperation of people. They've seen that people are lazy. They've seen that people don't even know what they need to know. So a scam agent can tell you anything, and because you don't know, you are not even able to challenge them. So if you're in that WhatsApp group, please, you are the people that can actually leave now. The rest of us who want to do the work and who actually have it as their heart desire to move to Canada, please stay. We have a lot to talk about. So the first question is, why am I saying the express entry? Well, by the way, the express entry is Canada's main immigration route for skilled workers. The economic route to immigrate to Canada, that is the main route. Like it's like the core, yeah, of the program that Canada is using to bring in immigrants. Now, the reason why a lot of people don't consider it, yeah, because since 2015 when express entry was created, things have changed a bit. People don't want to do IELTS because they probably tried a couple of times and they didn't get good scores. People don't want to go through the process of doing the West. And then people have heard all sorts of things. People say, you are too old, or the express entry is like this. It's complicated, it's complex, it's time wasting. I've heard all sorts of objections, and a lot of them are lies. So now, the reason why I'm actually calling your attention to the express entry is that prior to June of 2023, the express entry works this way. You do the IELTS, you do West, you have that 1 year of skilled work experience, you create a profile, you get into the pool. And Canada would invite those who have the highest points. So let's say they wanted to invite 3,000 people, 3,000 of those with the highest scores, who's caught up, like who applied at a certain date. Yeah, that's how it was. It wasn't, they didn't consider your occupation, they didn't consider whether you could speak French or not. Yeah, they didn't consider if you actually worked as a nurse or as a doctor or whatever. It was just like for everybody. That's why it was called a general draw. So they would usually do these general draws. Yeah. However, in the summer of 2023, things changed. Canada introduced the category-based draws. Now, what is this? The category-based draws, they are now picking people from the pool who have certain occupations. So Canada is sort of prioritizing certain occupations: STEM, transport, and those in healthcare. And they're also prioritizing those who have proficiency in French. So if you can speak French, Canada is actually looking for you. Did you know that Canada is a bilingual country? It's a French and English country. Yeah, so they are now looking for people who can speak French. And when they now do the draws now, they are doing one draw, which is a general draw, which is the one we all know that they used to do before. They are now doing another draw, which is a category-based draws. Now, for this category-based draws, they can just do a draw and invite only people who have done the French exam there, who can speak French. Or they'll just do a draw and invite only people in healthcare. Or they can do a draw and invite only people in construction. Or they can do a draw and invite only people in STEM. That's what's happening. And guess what? That's what happened to that lady whose story I just told you. She was in healthcare. And when that draw was done, the score was ridiculously low. And that's another thing about this category-based draw. The scores are low, the CRS scores. Now, I'm going to put on the screen a list of draws that have happened from between January and March. And as you can see, the draws for the general draws, the scores for the general draws like 500 and something or so, and the draws for French is so much lower. The draws for the category-based occupation is so much lower. Where am I going with this? What I'm trying to tell you is that if you are in any of these categories, if you work in any of these categories, or you have skilled work experience of at least 6 months in the last 3 years in any of these categories, and you do not have an express entry profile, you're on a long thing. In fact, bring your head. Let me knock it. You need to be there. You are just like this lady who did not want to get into the pool, and I am acting as a friend, pushing you to go and be in the pool. You can be there, and who knows, they can do a draw and you will be selected. In addition, if you can learn French, I don't have a head for languages, but if you have a head for languages and you can learn French and do the French exam, you don't have to pass it ridiculously. You just have to do the exam and get some score. I'm telling you, it's just like the IELTS. Get the minimum score. Canada may invite you, but if you're not in the pool, you would never know. Now, let me come back to the challenges when it comes to the express entry. Number one, IELTS. It's just an exam, guys. It's an exam. You can pass it. if only you are ready to do the work. Let me tell you something about the IELTS. It's not about speaking English. Oh. It's not about being able to speak and write English. It's a strategy exam, which means you need to understand what the exam wants. What do they want in the listening? What are they looking for in the reading? What about in the speaking, in the writing? And you have to prepare. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Don't wake up one day and say, I'm going to do IELTS. It will not work that way. It doesn't work that way. Those who do it that way are the people who are writing exam 3 times, 4 times. I'm like, what are you writing? Yeah, you have to give yourself time, at least 1 month, to prepare. And what does preparation mean? It means you give yourself like 30 minutes a day after work or whatever, and you practice. You do the exams. By the time you are practicing on like mock exams, you would see whether you're actually ready for the real thing or not. If you are not scoring at least 80%, then please don't write your IELTS. Shift it, postpone it. But if you take your time to go through writing practices, speaking practices, listening practices, reading practices, I tell you, you're going to come out with a good score. And a good score in the IELTS is going to shoot your CRS scores. Okay? And when it comes to West, that's your education credential. If you didn't school in Canada, you have to start it on time. If you school in some parts of Africa like Nigeria, the West process can take a bit of time. So start your West process today. That's one of the action I want you to leave this video with, that you're going to do something. I am going to start something. I'm going to do my IELTS or West. Now, I'm not saying that pause on other routes. No. If you're trying to get a job in Canada using any of the routes that I've posted recently, or just trying to get a job generally, please continue. If you're trying to come school in Canada, kindly continue. You can still be a student in Canada and be invited in the express entry and become a permanent resident. And you stop paying international fees. They just switch you to, the fees that permanent residents pay, which is so much cheaper. So my guys, why will you not create a profile? You must create a profile. The second thing that I want to say is to those who are like, Shay, we don't have this experience. So me, I'm not in STEM. I'm not a nurse. I'm not in healthcare. I'm not in construction. That's fine. But you can get in there. You just need 6 months of skilled work experience in the last 3 years. So if you can get a job, especially for those who don't even have a job now, or even if you do, this is a project. If you can get a job in any of those categories, or if you can get a skilled work experience in any of those categories, then you can create a profile and you can hope to be drawn on that draw, right? So, and those draws are done regularly. Canada used to do those express entry draws like every 2 weeks? But now they're just doing them intermittently. Canada too, I don't understand. We can't even predict them again. But anyway, whether they are doing it every 2 weeks or not, they are actually doing draws. And when they do draws, if you're in the pool, you will get selected. Now, whether you have that work experience in the category-based occupations or not, please create an express entry profile. Let me tell you a story. There was a day, I think it was a few years ago. I didn't have an express entry profile then, and I think I was in Canada then as a student, and there was a draw. Guess what the score was? 75. Canada sent over 27,000 invitations to apply to people that were in the pool with 75. And the internet caught fire. Even me, I was like, Shay, you don't have a profile in the pool. Like, they invited almost everybody. You can imagine the score, 75. My dear, if you're not in pool at that time, you would have felt really bad. People now went and started creating express entry profiles. But it was too late. Canada has not done that again. But who knows? The way things have been happening in Canada, with the election coming and the Trudeau government trying to put their house in order, who knows what might happen? If you're not in the pool, if something happens, you will not even get a chance. But if you're in the pool and something happened, then you will have a chance. Being in the express entry pool also gives you a chance at the provincial nominee program. The provincial nominee programs are immigration programs that are done by the different provinces in Canada. So these provinces also have their own mini immigration programs. Some of them are linked to the express entry. In fact, a lot of them are linked to the express entry, which means that they want you, or they require you to have an express entry profile when you do apply to the province, or when they invite you to apply from the pool. So the province can invite you in 2 ways. They can go to the pool now and they are looking for what? Teachers or nurses or whatever, and they take people from the pool. Yeah. Or secondly, you can apply to the province directly. Maybe if you get a job offer from the province, or you schooled in the province, or you somehow get a job there, you can apply directly to the province. Being in the pool will give you an edge, because a lot of times by the time you want to apply to the province, they are like, put your express entry profile number. If you don't have an express entry profile number, that's where your application ends. You have to now go and get an express entry profile set up. If you don't have the IELTS, you have to now start. Yeah. And I think that's why some people fail IELTS, because they're in a hurry. They want to meet up with one thing or that. Then they don't have time to prepare. So, what I came to tell you today is that there's a gold mine in the Canada Express entry. It is hidden, but I've come to expose it to you. What you need to do in the next few weeks is to make up your mind to create an express entry profile. And how do you do that? Number one, you do the IELTS English exam and a French exam. If you can, the French TEF exam. If you don't know French, do the IELTS alone. You can be learning French. Number two, do your WES. That's your education credential. Yeah. It takes a few months. Yeah. So you need to have those two things before you can even create a profile. And you need at least 1 year of skilled work experience. Then, when it comes to the IELTS, like I said before, prepare. I'm sort of reiterating, prepare for it. Prepare for it so that you're not confused, you're not, so confused that you sometimes miss out on where the exam is, especially the listening, which is very tricky. And then before you know, you have just lost your way. You can't even continue. It happens. A lot of people, you can hear, a lot of people have horror stories about the IELTS exam, but that will not be your portion, okay? As long as you prepare. Now, having said all of this, I created a program called the Express Entry Masterclass, where I help people like you, teaching them, guiding them, showing them what they need to do, how to create their Express Entry profile, how to get an invitation to apply, and what to do after you get the invitation to apply. Getting that invitation to apply is great, which means that Canada is now saying, come and apply for permanent residence, you and your family. But a lot of times, surprisingly, some people, even after getting the ITA, make mistakes and they lose that chance. If you are in the Express Entry Masterclass, you will know what to do. Especially when you have challenges like, oh, my employer refused to give me a letter, or oh, I don't have payslip, or oh, where do I get the money, or oh, I don't know what to do. How do I explain this? All of that. We have templates for that. We have guides for that, and we have lessons for that. Guess what? In this Express Entry Masterclass, we also have resources that can help you pass your IELTS exam one time. I'm telling you, it can happen. We have resources on how to complete the WES. We have resources on those occupations that can help you get into the category-based draws. Now, this is just a YouTube video, and I don't want to make it too long, but this has been on my mind for some time. Like, I see the desperation out there. I see a lot of people now sitting back and like they don't know what to do. I've come to tell you what to do today. You need to create an Express Entry profile. That is it. You create a profile and then you wait. That profile is valid for 1 year. That profile, it doesn't matter. Don't tell me you're 45 years old. Even if you're 160 years old, go and create the profile. Please excuse my raised voice. I'm just passionate about this because I hear a lot of excuses. Stop making excuses. Start taking action. And if you want help with the Express Entry, I am going to leave the link to the details of the Express Entry Masterclass so that you can see the benefits and see what the Express Entry Masterclass holds. If it's something that is good for you, go ahead and get it. If it's not good for you, still fine. You can still go ahead and get your IELTS and WES and create your Express Entry profile. I am begging you. Next year is Canada's election here. We don't know what's going to happen. There might be a lot of changes in the horizon. I'm telling you, I feel it in my bones. That is the same way I was talking about changes that might be coming before all of these changes came. I was like a prophetess. And I'm saying it again. More changes are going to come. Make sure you are taking action. If Canada is your dream, don't let that dream die. Don't be discouraged. Don't let people talk and talk you out of your dream. Cut off anybody that is trying to discourage you and telling you Canada is not for you. Tell yourself the truth and begin to take action. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I am going to answer every single one of your questions. If you have any friend or family member who needs to be encouraged as well, please send them this video. And be careful of agents. I'm not saying don't use agents. Be careful. You need to know so that if an agent is telling you something that is off or something that is not true, you are able to challenge them. If you want a more detailed video explaining what the express entry is, go ahead and watch this video where I talked at length about the express entry, the benefits, and how you can jump in. Thank you very much for watching, guys. My heart goes out to you and I'm praying for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and share as well. Take care of yourself and I'll see you in the next one.